Hey guys, Andrew Esquivel here, and today I'm going to be doing a review of several different cases for the ZTE Axon 7. So, when it comes to accessories for the Axon 7, there seems to be a pretty sparse selection. So what I've done is I've tried to do some research and pick the ones that I think have the best chance of actually protecting your phone. And I have three different manufacturers with three different styles of cases, and we're essentially going to compare them to the clear rubber TPU case that comes with the Axon 7. Now, the key here is protection. Although the Axon 7 is not the most expensive flagship in the world, it's definitely something worth protecting. So, let's kind of go over the contenders here. First off, we have Spigen. Spigen is a rubber TPU case. It's a bit thicker than the standard TPU that comes with the phone. And next we have Teckoo. And Teckoo is a two-stage system here. It actually comes apart. We've got a rubber TPU, and then this plastic encases itself over it. And then we have Poetic, which is a full enclosure type. So it's just a hard plastic case, and it's got an enclosure that goes over the top of it, and has a screen protector built into the enclosure. So we're going to go over in more detail about these one by one and kind of compare them and give my notes on which ones I think will actually do the job. So let's go over the stock one first. The stock one goes over the ZTE perfectly as it should. It is the one that comes with it. It has the buttons that are extruded outwards with texture, so you can feel it. The rubber casing allows you to keep a good grip on the phone, and you can see the back of the phone if that's actually important to you for some reason. Me, I'm more about functionality than I am about looks. And quite frankly, functionality-wise, this won't protect your phone for much. Because the problem is, if you drop it, especially on a corner, it's very likely to have some sort of damage. And because this rubber is so thin, it doesn't have the ability to slow down momentum in a way that will actually prevent serious damage. This is just for essentially scratches. So what we have to replace it first, we're going to go to Spigen. And Spigen is very similar. Now, in terms of thickness, the Spigen case is a little thicker, but not by much in realistic terms. The Spigen case works off the very same principle as the original one does. And it's got more rigidity on the corners. However, it doesn't really feel like that rigidity is going to amount to much. It's kind of like the crumple zones on a vehicle. It's designed to slow down the momentum over a short duration of time instead of just transferring momentum directly. That's the idea of a case. That's why the rubber TPU works well in certain situations when you drop your phone. So let's put this on the Axon 7. And as you can see, it fits over quickly and easily just like the original one. Now, there are some gripes that I have with this. First off, it's pretty slippery on the back. I don't like that it's slippery. Another major gripe I have is right by the USB-C port. See, when I hold my phone, I hold it like this, which means my pinky finger is right on the port, and because the edges are so jagged, it's extremely irritating to my pinky finger to have it like that, and to the point where I really don't like the case because of it. But to its credit, it does have also these raised out buttons, and they're textured so you can tell which ones are which, because they're all three buttons on the side. Power buttons got a nice rigid texture, while the volume buttons have a smooth texture, so at least you know what you're touching. Just in case you're new to the phone. Now, it doesn't offer much more protection than the stock case, because it is just a soft rubber TPU case with a bit of rigidity in the corners. But remember that solid rigidity transfers momentum instead of absorbing it. So for that reason, I'm not so sure that I trust this case. And it's only slightly thicker than the original TPU that comes with the phone. So if you're looking for something minimal that's kind of stylish, maybe this will be for you, but it's not for me. So let's go over to the Teckoo case. Now first we have to take the soft rubber, and I mean really soft, very flexible rubber, off. And if you'll notice, the corners have a lot of rubber. I mean very, very thick amounts of rubber. And that's good because, like I was saying before, that rubber will squish when it hits the ground if you accidentally drop it, because you want it to absorb momentum, not just directly transfer momentum. And that's fine and all, but we need to put on the backing because otherwise this just slides right off. The backing needs to be put on in a certain way because of the extruded buttons. So you just put the side with the buttons on first, and you close it together, and you get this nice kind of two-stage layer case. Now this rubber is much thicker than the one that comes with the Axon 7 standard. So comparing this to this, big difference. There's a lot more rubber. And I like the fact that it's got a lot of rubber around the corners to absorb the impact. But it's also got a really hard backing. So it's a two-stage layer protection that I think should provide a lot more protection than the average case. Now if you look at the buttons that you would press for, or the button that you would press for your fingerprint, you can see it's really down in there. There is a lot more thickness to this case, but I don't think that takes away from anything. Button works just as well. Now the buttons on the side are not textured. They are rubber though, so at least it's, you know, easy to tell where they are. As far as holding the phone goes, it doesn't feel slippery because the back plastic here is textured, so it doesn't feel like it's going to fall out of your hands as easily as it does with the Spigen case, which is good. Now, that being said, it's definitely not as easy to grip as just the stock TPU, which is like really soft rubber, so it's really good grippy rubber, but this is definitely a step in the right direction in my opinion. Now, yes, the rubber can kind of flip up and down a bit, but you know, in day-to-day use, I don't think that's going to be a problem. I don't think people are going to be like, oh, you know, it's you know, falling apart because it's soft. I think that soft rubber right there in the spots where it needs to be is pretty crucial. And also, because it's soft rubber and it's not jagged hard rubber, it doesn't bother my pinky finger when I hold it, which is excellent. So this one I think I actually like. Now the next one we're going to go over, if I take this off real quick, is the one from Poetic. Now Poetic, I've had a case from them before for my TF300T tablet, and they use some pretty good quality stuff. Now Poetic went with the straight, you know, kind of balls to the walls, kind of just hard rubber, or plastic in this case for the most part. I mean, yeah, it's a little bit flexible, but you know, it's just flexible plastic. It's not rubbery at all, which gives me some concern. Like I said, you know, hard surfaces tend to just directly transfer momentum instead of absorbing it for an impact. It's a two-piece system, not a two-stage system, and it goes all together quite nicely. It is rather cumbersome to take in and out, and this is probably going to be one of the more thick ones. So let's put our phone in the case and make sure put it on the correct way. And this may take a little bit to get everything to fit properly, because everything is harder plastic. And I want to make sure I get all of it snapped together. Okay. So, should have it all snapped together now. So this is what it looks like. It's a lot thicker than some of the other ones. You can see, you can kind of tell the thickness by looking at the recessed stuff in here now. And the plastic, yeah, it's thick, and okay, it's a little slippery, but definitely not slippery, more slippery than the Spigen case. And the buttons are slightly raised as well, no texture to them. But one thing this does offer that the other cases don't offer is protection ports for your headphones, as well as the USB-C. So, comes out. Now, one thing to note about cases like this that protect the ports and all that jazz is eventually those protective ports tend to come off after they get worn, and they don't seem to want to go in all the way very easily when I'm trying to put them back in. Now, a lot of people don't seem to like the fact that the plastic layer on the top here is just some thin plastic instead of something like tempered glass. Now, the thing is, this plastic top layer really isn't meant to protect against extreme drops. It's meant to protect against scratching on the screen. So it's not designed to be, you know, like tempered glass would, where it would absorb the impact and take the damage instead of your screen. So this one, although it attempts to do stuff nicely, it kind of falls short in some areas. I would have really liked to seen something like OtterBox, where they have a full TPU and then encase it in a full plastic, which would have been fantastic, because then you get both the rigidity and the absorbing of the momentum to really protect the case, or protect the phone. But unfortunately, that particular option I have not come across yet, and there's no major manufacturers out there that seem to really be making cases for this phone. So, taking this phone out is also a bit of a hassle, because you have to undo all the plastic connections. And in case you're wondering, no, this does not make the phone waterproof in any way, shape, or form. It does have holes for the speakers, and I'll show you that in just a second. Because getting this thing out, especially if you need to take it out for any reason, is a pain in the butt. So, you know, keep that in mind. So the top layer here has holes on the top and bottom for the speakers. So your speakers are completely unblocked by the case. Now, one thing I do want to mention about all of these cases when it comes to the Axon 7 is the Axon 7, as well as many other major phone manufacturers, seem to be using a similar concept when it comes to reducing heat. These single one-piece designs where you can't remove the battery are intentional and deliberate for several reasons. One of the reasons is a lot of these high-end phones tend to use the metal backing as a form of heat sink to draw heat away from the CPU. Now, this can be a problem if you use any case, because now you're blocking any airflow. And I've actually documented this personally using benchmarking apps. The more heat the phone retains, the less performance it's going to have, and the performance drop can actually be somewhat dramatic. So if you're using something like VR, you're going to want to take it out of the case so that it has that airflow to breathe. So for that reason, I really can't recommend the Poetic, because if you need to take it apart quickly, it's just not happening. And because you need a soft layer to absorb momentum instead of directly transfer momentum, I really can't recommend the Spigen either, because the Spigen is really just slightly better and more uncomfortable than the stock one that comes with the phone. So, in my honest opinion, I think the best all-rounder out of these three cases is going to be from Teckoo. So, I'll be sticking with the Teckoo for now. And if I come across a better case, I'll certainly let you guys know. But my Axon 7 is going to rest easy in this two-stage case that hopefully will protect it in the event of an incident. It certainly feels that way. And it's much more comfortable. Out of all of these, this is definitely the most comfortable. It also brings up a lip over the edges. So if you get a tempered glass case, or I'm sorry, a tempered glass screen protector, hopefully it'll help make it fit better, because what I see a lot with tempered glass screen protectors is that they don't do well because it's an OLED screen that wraps around a little bit, and that wrapping around means it doesn't cover the entire screen, and no glass screen protector is going to be able to do that. But if you have a case on it like this, it kind of minimizes that wrapping around, so it all seems more uniform. So thanks for watching, guys. Hopefully this helps you make a better choice based on what you need your phone protector to do for you. So yeah, don't forget to comment, rate, subscribe, show your friends, check out my other videos. Got plenty of them, and as always, thanks for watching.